It's been a couple of weeks since the last video. Kind of running out of steam, I guess. I don't know. I try to think of things to say, and then they stack up, and I got a real big stack of things that I want to say, and all of a sudden the stack falls over, and I got nothing to say. So having an object in your hands to talk about is actually a help, isn't it? It's a good thing. So in the form of pickups, but don't have any. I don't have any pickups, so I can't talk about pickups. I did talk to Mark, though. He has a couple of old Commodore 64s for parts. None of them work. As you know, I could see from the pictures there was parts missing and stuff. So, but having the odd extra PLA or CIA is never a bad thing. Even sockets, they might be useful. So, but I don't have those in the house either. I have been playing a little bit with my Ultimate 64, of course, but just, gaming, no technical stuff. I just have it sitting here in my oldest and worst looking bread bin. And it's great. It works perfectly. After updating the firmware, it just plays all the games that I like. And probably some more. I am lucky though that the power supply actually works, because I've heard that some of them just don't work, and I've had mine plugged in since the start and it's still working. So, but it's only a simple thing. If it breaks, it's just a 12-volt standard power supply. You can get one anywhere. Yeah, so there's still a couple of things that I wanted to test, but yeah, I'm kind of running out of steam to do that kind of stuff. It's been a weird time. Stuff happening with the car, and some people have passed, and it's affecting me somehow. So it sort of makes me think about, not that I'm ready to die or something, but you see couples that have been together for ages, and then one of them dies. It's that's going to happen to most people. It's a sad thing. I haven't been feeling like soldering or finishing that repair video of the Commodore 64s. I have them sitting here, but I don't look at them. I did repair my car key, though. It comes this. I think I have right. This thing. This is like the remote control to my car. It's got 4 buttons, and this is the one that worked. I have another one that didn't work, and they have like a lock and an unlock, and then there's one for the boot and a yellow one, I guess, for an alarm that I don't have, and that button doesn't do anything either. So on the other one, the unlock button was broken, so I opened it up. And it just has 4 tactile switches, and which are basically a plastic oblong container with a little spring leaf in them, and then a little rubber button that makes and breaks the contact when you push it. Now that spring leaf had broken, so I just removed one of these buttons. I unsoldered it and soldered it into the other place. It was it was a difficult job, but I made it work. I changed the battery because I had it all but exploded, and I made it work. These things cost €210 euros. Sorry, I informed that. I called the dealer, and they said, "Oh, you can order one of those, $210." So I fixed it, bought a new battery for $3, and now it's working again. So I repaired that, but I didn't film that. I might have. Some channels are pretty successful with that. Talking about some channels, man, I've watched Bithead 1000, long time. And I've heard him say that he would rather cut off his left arm than to ask money for his channel. Well, he lied, because he's now asked for money. He's got a Patreon asking for money. Now, if he just said, I've got a Patreon, if you want to give me money, go ahead, then that would have been fine. I would have not had a single problem with that. You know, it's okay. You said one thing, now you changed your mind. No problem. You can change your mind. But then comes the reasoning. And if he hadn't tried to give a reason, it would have been fine. But his reasoning was messed up. From what I, of course, all of the yes men in his comment section start throwing money the minute he opened up the Patreon. But his reasoning was, because I'm active for the channel, playing games and staring at Google, I can't take extra jobs in construction, because that's obviously what he does. And I mean, I have to assume that money is supposed to go to the family, because he said it's not fair to my wife and my son. Also, my wife is running up and down the stairs with laundry while I'm playing games. It's not fair to my wife and son. And then he says, all the money that I get from Patreon goes right into the show. So now I'm confused. I thought this wasn't fair to your son and your wife. Was it because you weren't spending time with them? Then I'd say just fuck the show and spend time with your family. Or was it because you had to get more money for the family? Then don't get all that money and say that you're going to put it into the show, because... And then you have this, you sit there with your money and this reasoning, and you send him... I mean, this guy is getting games. He's all of the games that we've seen him get in 2018, I think 80% were given. And before that, he bought his entire PC Engine collection, which is thousands of dollars. People are throwing games at him. And now we have to give him money? For what? So that he can spend time with his family? No. So he can spend more time gaming? Do you think his wife is going to like that? Saying, oh, but they're giving me money. And I'm putting it all back in. So you go running up and down the stairs with your laundry while I stare at Google and play video games. I don't think this money is going to change anything. And to top that all off, the very next episode, he comes out and said, hey, I bought a Harley Davidson. You know, and I'm thinking, if I give, I mean, money is is a rare asset. I mean, I want money, so I'm frugal. I'm very careful with who I give my money to, and if I give it at all, I give it to someone who really needs it, not to someone who is given all of his games and buys a Harley Davidson for himself, and then. Well, he talks about pissing in his pants for one episode. And then in the very next episode, he spends a day putting a baseball bat into a bowling ball to smash a packet of Gillette razors. I'm not going to give this guy money. He's nuts. I mean, I like his videos. But the point is that it's okay to ask for money, but, make sure your reasoning is sound. I mean, think of a reason, tell it to yourself in the mirror, and ask yourself, do I believe this shit? Or am I just... Anyway, enough of that. Talking about really great channels, Grubgun, Jeremy has had a revival of sorts. He is now seriously trying to make a place for himself on Twitch. he is looking for about 20 to 22 viewers for his Twitch broadcasts. So, as I understand it, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are his goal to stream games. And maybe if you ask him nicely, you can get on his game or whatever. I don't know what the plan exactly is, but he has reinvented himself. And I say that because it's not the old Jeremy. This Jeremy, I mean, he combed his hair. I'm always messing with my hair for some reason when I'm going to make a video. And I always respected Jeremy for the fact that he didn't care at all what he looked like. Well, that has changed. You've never seen a smoother, prettier Jeremy with combed hair. Anyway, he's back, and he is back on YouTube, and he's going to appear on Twitch with gaming and stuff. So go check him out. It's just Grubgun on Twitch, and it's just good old Grubgun on YouTube. So and I'll be on there on his streams probably, as will Giles and Kat, and we will no doubt see Malk in the comments, and Chris is a regular visitor, so it's if you're ready to get abused, then show yourself. I'm not sure what he's going to play though. It was Minecraft, but it's probably going to be Arma as well. We've done a lot of Arma. I've been watching a lot of Arma. Earlier this week we did King of the Hill, which is awesome. And we are getting slightly better at the game, so there are still people that kick our asses, of course, but we are slowly getting there. I put 300 hours in Arma. I had to put it on a new disc though, because my old disc it's getting slower and slower, and I'm suspecting that it's going to blow up soon. So I'm going to have to buy a new SSD drive for my computer, but I have to save some money. I mean, I've spent so much money on fixing my car now, and it's got a lot more coming. So there's no way I'm gonna buy a hard disk now, and there's no way I'm gonna go to the UK to the arcade club in February. But it's just not there. I just don't have the money. I mean, I'm spending money that I don't have already. I just took my car to the service, and they said that if you wanted to fix everything that's wrong with it now, it's 1,900 euros. I mean, that I just don't have that kind of money laying around, so I have to spread it anyway. So it's heavy times. Anyway, but to offset that, to make times a little bit better, because it's not all pain and suffering over here. I've done something cool. A couple of weeks. I mean, it's kind of put a halt on my arcade stick project for a while, because we were visiting with friends a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned that there was a company in his area where he lives where they do laser engraving. And I thought that might be a cool thing for my arcade stick, to have the top like laser engraved with my logo, right? So I started looking for companies in my neighborhood, because this is kind of like a 1.5 hour drive or an hour's drive away. So I started looking for companies in the neighborhood, and from the time that I decided I wanted to do that, I couldn't start work on my on my arcade stick, because it involved the top. Again, I have to put the buttons and the electronics in, so I couldn't install all of that and then have it shipped out. So I'd have to remove it all again. So I just put it on hold while I looked for a company, and I found a couple of companies, businesses, which, I mean, most of them didn't even respond to my request. One of them, who had a very nice and friendly, welcoming website, just send us your question and we'll see what we can do together to make it nice and beautiful. And they charged 530 euros just for setup cost. And that may have been a typo. Maybe it was 530, or maybe it was 53, but it just said 5:30. And so that was kind of a joke. And this company that my friend originally indicated had like $12.50 for setup costs, and then a tenner, and then some shipping. And we had some to and fro's because I contacted them first, but I wanted to be there and film it. So I was trying to find a business in the neighborhood where I could go and bring my plank of wood, and they would do it while I filmed it. That was my idea, but since nobody responded, and this first company that I talked to said, well, you can't be there while we do it because we have a separate workshop, and apparently it was impossible to plan that in, so I had to send it, which was scary enough, and then they would ship it back. And then I asked them, what kind of file do you want? What does it have to look like? What's the resolution? Should it be color? Should it just be lines? But every time I sent them an email with more than one question, they would just answer the first one, right? And just ignore all the other questions. And finally, I sent them my image file, and they said, "Oh, it can't be color." I said, "That's what I asked, Anyway, it took a lot of time. Eventually, it got done. And they sent it back, and here's the result. So this is the stick. Here's the stick. Here's the stick. These are the 4 buttons and a credit and player 1 start button. I had, I could have done it here, but then it sort of interfered with this. This logo would have been really small. I could have done it in the center here so that my hands wouldn't be resting on it, but I thought, well, this is the right side, so I'm probably going to use this stick most, and only if I use it for twin stick shooters or whatever am I going to use this stick. So it is actually indented, so the laser has actually cut out the lines, and I think it's really sharp. It's really good. Even the small buttons here left a little bit of wood where there's white in the drawing. It's really good, and this is becoming a really unique kind of stick, isn't it? I think this is really cool. Laser engraved. There's only one in the world. I love that, and it wasn't too expensive. All in all, with the shipping and everything, it was like $29. And this is what happens in life, and this pisses me off. I sent this for $3.50 because it fits in the mail slot, right? And they said, well, you can ship it, and then we'll ship it back to you. And I pay for the shipping cost back to me, which was $6.95, which is the rate for a regular box. So then it arrives at my house in the box that I gave them. So they used the same box and the same packing material. And they charged me $6.95, and they paid for something. So they made money on the shipping. Fuck off. I don't like that. Never mind. That's the way things work. Businesses, companies, nobody cares about personal service anymore. Big companies, you want to call big companies, the motor club. I'm trying to talk to them. It's impossible. You talk to people, and you get some call center, and people they don't care who you are. They only do their little thing, and then you're a number, and then they hang up the phone and you're done again. And I've been on the phone with companies for hours and hours, just not unreasonable, just with a reasonable question, and everyone just fucks up and nobody cares. So this I was pretty happy with. So I was so happy that I sent them an email thanking them for their work. I think it came out really well. Thank you very much. No response. What does that say? Tell me. I don't get it. If I would receive an email like that, I'd respond to it, say, hey, that's good to hear, or whatever. That's kind of the human sort of response, but these people, it probably bounces off them like a nuisance or something. I don't get that. The last thing that I can remember now, there's probably other things. Oh, well, space news. Really, the Chinese landed on the back of the moon, and they planted cotton plants to see what would happen, and they went really well at first, but now they've died. So for some reason, the lack of light, or the radiation, or the cold, or whatever. Maybe they left them outside too long. I don't know. They should have watched that Mars movie with the Matt Damon. They would have known that doesn't work. Anyway, I think it's pretty spectacular that we have finally landed something on the backside of the moon. I know that some people were surprised about the fact that it was that you could actually see something on the backside of the moon, which is really not surprising at all, because it's not like, when the sun goes down below the horizon on Earth, it doesn't go pitch black. You have like reflective light, and you have starlight, you have some light, and especially if you have a camera, not a human eye, but a camera can be more sensitive to light. So it's just perfectly possible to see something. But I thought it was exciting, and it's good that the Chinese are not just the same old United States or Europe or whatever. Just the whole planet should get involved in this and work together to get stuff done up there. And if we have a real base up there, some sort of like a space station, but then on the surface of the moon, we could actually launch stuff from there. It's going to happen. That's going to be the way. We have stuff there, and then we're going to launch off the moon when we need like a fraction to launch off the moon. We don't have to have the big power booster rockets to get out of the gravity and the atmosphere of the Earth. That will be much better. I'm hoping that before I die, I'm going to see at least one launch or something off the moon. So that was exciting. No news from Opportunity still. I haven't checked for a while, but this was supposed to be the windy season on Mars, so it's supposed to blow off the dust off the solar panels. I should check whether maybe there has been some news. We've also launched the Parker Solar Probe, a probe that is launched towards the sun, our local star, and it's going to do measurements there. I haven't seen any results from there, but that is also exciting. So, yeah. And there's been some stuff about Ultima Thule. I don't even know what that is. I think it's a meteorite somewhere that we're looking at. Meteorites are interesting because they're old and they're pristine, basically. And sometimes they come from outside of our solar system, but that's very, very rare. There's one last thing, and I'm going to do that at the end. I found a Commodore 64 game. I didn't find it. I saw it on Facebook or something. And I think Mark did a video about it as well. It's Digiloi. It's the second game by a guy whose name I can't repeat now, but I'll include some gameplay at the end of this video. Now, from the moment that I found out that the Commodore 64 had hardware sprites, and basically all of the games, unless they're really crappy games, but all of the games rely on sprites, and we write sprite multiplexers to generate more than 8 sprites. It's quite complex, but it works, but this guy, never did I play with the idea to make a character-based game where the sprites are basically characters. And this game does a really, really nice job creating huge sprites, all made with characters. There's not a sprite in the game. So I thought that was pretty amazing. Also, it's a free game. It's his second game. The first game I haven't really played yet. But I'll include some information and some gameplay of Digiloi. I thought it was amazing. It blew my mind, and it's free. Well, what more do you want? So, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Ooh, yeah. Digiloi, Dr. Terrors. Yeah, that's okay. Dr. Terrors, 2018, so pretty new game. Pretty new game, and I'm gonna give it a shot. This is me. This guy is a character. And if I shoot... Amazing. I think this is amazing. This is all characters. Everything is not a sprite. Maybe the score. I don't know. Maybe the score. Isn't that amazing? Good music. It actually plays well. I mean, it looks clunky. All right. I pick up a power up, and but it's fast. It's fast, and I can. I mean, there's no real tearing of the sprite as I move around. I mean, okay, this is a wall, and I can go up. I mean, oh shit. That is kind of a... My sprite is so big that even if part of it is in front of the door and I push up to jump, I go through the door. That's... Oh, I'm dead. Oh, God. I'm going to try this again. Hold on. Here we go. Dead. No. Energy. Enemies. Oh, I should have done that. They're dead. He's dead. Oh, look. Am I gonna get up there? Maybe from here. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna go left here. Not really anything here. Go left. Energy here. This is an enjoyable game, and it looks good. They're going right here. Whoa, that guy had a gun. See this platforming, which is sort of... you have to be pretty precise with that. Okay, energy. Enemies don't respawn, that's nice. Okay, go through the door here. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Oh. These guys take more than one hit to die. Whoa, is he gonna die at all? I don't think he is. Die, suckers. I better find some power soon, man. Ah, there I go. Well, that's Digiloi, a free game. I'll put a link in the description. I'm really enjoying it. And maybe you will too. So, see ya next time. Bye-bye.